Hey, how's it going? Welcome to Trapped in the South. Welcome to a car chat. Guys, you know how you're driving and the conversations that you have for the day kind of just come over you in a moment? Well, I had somebody in my office just a couple minutes before I left to go get lunch, and she walked in and she said, "Have I ever been in here before?" And I said, "I'm not." She said, "Hey." And I said, "Hey, how you doing?" And she, popped her head in my door. She was like, she came in, she's like, "Have I ever been in here before?" And I said, "I don't know. I don't think so." She was like, "The energy in here is so good." And I said, "Oh, well, thank you." I said, "I hear that all the time." She was like, "That's why I told her, I was like, that's why my people are in here all the time." And she said, "Yeah, I understand why." She was like, "Every time I pass by, there is someone in here." And she said, she was like, "That's why I love talking to you, because you are just, I don't know, I just feel like I can breathe when I'm around you." And she goes to tell me a story about her mother. And she was like, every time I talk to her, she points out something negative. She was like, I sent her a picture the other day of me. I went out to lunch with some friends, and I had on this shirt, and she said, "You bought a new shirt." And she was like, the shirt that I had on was 4 years old. She was like, it wasn't a new shirt. But every time that I see her, she has something negative to say. And she's like, over the years, I've just really, really noticed that. And I asked her, I said, "Well, when you were younger and living with your mom," I said, she was like, she said, "When I was younger and living with my mom, my friends would say, every time you're around your mom, you're just tense. You are not relaxed. You're not the person that we know you to be." And I asked her, I said, "When you were younger," I said, "did your mom tell you that the people you're hanging around with are no good, they're this, they're that, or blah, 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 blah?" And she was like, "Yes." And I said, "You know what? I have a very similar circumstance, and no one was ever good enough for me to be around. No one that I spoke to were good people. It was just a constant situation." And I said, "I don't know all the ins and outs of the things that have happened to her in her life, but she looks at life in a very negative way. And I'm not here to dismiss, the things that she's been through, but there is good in life. There's good in life." And she was like, "Yeah." She was like, "It's all about a perspective change." And so we had this conversation before I left, and I was driving, and I went to go visit a friend who's, hopefully I pray is on the tail end of a bad situation, but she was able to bless me with something, which I'm really, really excited for. And, I was praying for her as I left my driveway. And I just thought about that. I know the way that I was raised. There was some really high highs and some really, really low lows, and there was a lot of in between, right? But God saw fit for me to live this life. And I cannot tell you how thankful I am for that. He saw fit for me to see all of those things, for me to be connected with the people that I'm connected with, and for me to have an alternative view. Yes, there are some things that really, really suck, and just recently I learned that when stuff sucks and I can't control it, I'm not the best person. I'm not. Oh my gosh, I am not. But there is a light that I just have to focus on. I really just got a glimpse of a me that I didn't like, and I had to fight through it. And that reminds me that if I want to be a happy person, a good person, or this person that I just so desire to be, like, I have to fight every day. All those negative thoughts, the way that I treat people that I know, the way that I treat people I don't know, the way I treat my kids, like, I have to fight to be joyful, to be happy, to be kind, to, like, give off good energy, to, like, all of those things. Like, that's a day-to-day thing. And I don't want my kid's story to be, my mom is so negative, my mom is this, she never sees the good in anything. I also don't want it to be, oh, she's just so aloof that she doesn't understand life. Like, I don't want that either. But, like, I don't know, it brought me to tears a little bit just thinking about, once again, the privilege of being able to see that, to feel that, and that God saw fit for me to have the experiences that I'm experiencing. So, I don't know. I don't know who that is meant for, but I hope that gives you a little oomph in your day, to just keep pushing forward. Bye.